Hello lovely folk, and a very warm welcome back to The Library is Open. So I hope you've brought your library cards, my darlings. I would just like to wish everybody a very, very happy 2020. Left a gap there so you can fill it in depending on what year you're watching this. For me right now it's 2023 and it is the 3rd of January, I think. Who even knows anymore? But I thought I'd pop on and do a sort of proper little launch for one of the reading projects that I'm doing this year, which if you've watched my previous videos you will probably already be aware of. If you haven't, then what are you doing? Go do that. But in my kind of end of 2022 wrap up, I talked about that I had done a poll on YouTube and Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, by the way, the details are always in the description. I'm not begging for followers there, do what you want. Oh, bit of info first, just to get it out of the way. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my head, this is a no wool woolly beanie. I think I've got that right. From Vegan Outfitters. I'll link them in the description. And I am drinking from my lovely teacup from those vegan guys. I'm drinking an Earl Grey creme from the lovely Bird and Blend. Again, always linked in the description. Just to let you know, I don't make any money off these people. They're not paid advertising. They're just things that I like and people sometimes ask me questions about. So the info's there if you want it. They're both like good, independent, planet-friendly businesses. So go check them out if you like. If you like hats or tea. So, or even if you don't and you're just bored and doom scrolling. Anyway, so yeah, what I did was, a couple of years ago, just to refresh, I did a reading of all of the Bronte sisters' output. Big thing for me, I love the Brontes. We used to go to the parsonage where they used to live in Haworth a lot when I was a kid. It's like a sort of, I guess, cheap day out, I don't know. And that was always really cool. So I read all of their kind of oeuvre, if you will. And I thought, you know what, let's do that again this year. Let's take some charge and direction in my reading and do some proper structured kind of stuff, because there's tons of stuff out there, both on Booktube and in the wider world, that kind of can help if you want a direction in your reading. So I put a poll up of potential authors who I might like to read the entire back catalogue of. They were both classic authors, classic in you know, as it's kind of widely understood, and also authors who I think have a significant back catalogue that might become classic if they're not already. So though I gave you 4 options, as I say, both on here and on Instagram, and the results, should you wish to see, are here through the magic of technology now. And with further magic of technology, I'm back. So as you can see, the highest votes on Instagram were for the fabulous Toni Morrison, and the highest votes on YouTube were for Charles Dickens. Now, part of me is like, have I set myself up here? Because, you know, they've got a lot of output between them. But what I think I've done is managed to create a system whereby I can read one of their books, both of their books, I should say, every month for the next 12 months, and I will have completed the output, assuming everything goes to plan, which, you know, disclaimer, I'm not saying that it will. But, I mean, luckily, I'd read a couple of Charles Dickens books already, so, like, they were kind of struck off the list. And I'm not taking into account at the moment non-fiction or short stories, so these are just going to be full novels. Same with Toni Morrison, with the exception of there is one that the name escapes me at the moment that was a short story originally but was published as a book, so I'm going to include that because it's short and it'll kind of wrap up the year. So to monitor this progress, I was going to put a big chart on the screen, but I'm not going to do that actually. What I'm going to do instead is I've decided to finally actually use GoodReads properly to track my 2023 reading. Hopefully that'll help me with my stats at the end of the year as well. So I have created a shelf on my GoodReads that says Dickens-Morrison 2023, I think. It'll be linked in the description anyway. And I've put the books in reverse order, so you'll be able to see a Dickens and a Toni Morrison, like one after the other, that I will keep updating, and it'll go from January to December. So if you do that, you will see that this month I am reading, because I'm trying to go in chronological order of publication as well, which may have been a fail. I'm reading the Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens, which is it's a hefty tome, let's say, which I guess makes sense because originally it was serialized and not written to be read necessarily straight through as a novel. So that, and I'm also reading The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. And what you can do is, if you do go and have a look at my GoodReads, if you've got an account on there, ask to be friends. I'm happy to do that. Very happy. But you can see how much progress I'm making. I'm really trying to put in when I'm updating, sort of thing. So that's the plan. So January's The Bluest Eye and the Pickwick Papers. And as I say, if you go on the GoodReads shelf, irrespective of whether you've got a GoodReads account, I believe you can access it anyway. You'll be able to see, after that, I've put like the next 2 books on as well, which will be Oliver Twist and Sula. So they are February's choices. And what I will do at the end of the month is do a little wrap up of each in a joint video, and just tell you A, what I thought, B, if I enjoyed it, C, if I'm losing the will. So there you go. So that's the plan for that. So I just want to thank everybody for voting on that and for setting me off on this this journey. There is something of the completionist about me, I think. So it makes me happy that I'm going to be completing the kind of output of 2 quite prolific authors, both of whom sadly deceased, obviously. Yeah, there's something quite nice about looking at 2 authors, particularly who were spent a lot of time writing about social justice in various forms and across various time periods. And I won't be, you know, making kind of apologies for some of the stuff, like for instance in Dickens, that is dodgy. I won't be skirting around, you know, issues of like racism or anything like that, because I think while these books are classics, we can still sort of talk about negative qualities of them. So yeah, thank you for everybody who voted, and I hope you're going to enjoy this journey as much as I do. Short and snappy today, but I will see you all very soon. Put your library cards somewhere safe that can't be got at by the foul weather, and yeah, take care of yourselves. See you very soon, darlings. Mwah.